And today we're learning some more legal expertise with the Peterson Law Office.
So we are welcoming in Justin Peterson with what law advice we are talking about. So Justin, I have a question. We have been seeing lately so much rain and those wet conditions causing problems out there on the roads. We are now seeing semis slide completely off the roadways. So it seems like that more business is actually unfortunately coming your way.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing, you know, for other people, but we're here to help if necessary. You know, the conditions of the roads do matter because there are certain defenses out there. One's called a sudden emergency defense, actually, where the other driver can claim a sudden emergency, like their brakes failed and they didn't know something was going to happen. And so when we get into a case, someone might call us and say, I got rear-ended and I'm, you know, severely injured, and then we start looking at it and we're like, oh my goodness, there might be some defenses here. So when we're giving advice, we're not telling people what they want to hear. We're giving you actual legal advice on the potential defenses, what your potential recovery could be, things of that nature.
And we're about to enter a very tricky time, not only for driving, but for walking around. Here in the next few weeks, those leaves are going to start falling. You get a little water mixed in with them, and it becomes extra slick. You know, information and data has shown that it takes a lot longer to stop on leaves when they're wet like that. So we're about to enter that kind of part of the year as well, right?
Sure. You know, it's all about just being safe. Usually, you know, if we're safe in our cars, if we're safe, you know, walking around, if we're paying close attention, usually we're going to avoid accidents. And in Kentucky, we have apportionment laws. You know, whether it has to do with a slip and fall or whether it has to do with a car accident, a jury could apportion liability going up to 100%, 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, based on what we call comparative fault. So your fault in causing something to happen that hurts yourself can be considered in your recovery.
Right. Now, so for example, here in just a few weeks, as I said, you get on some of these sidewalks and the leaves are going to be thick. You're going to have a thick layer, and maybe you can't see an uneven spot in there. What do we need to do if we find some kind of situation like that?
You know, I think it's good to just be neighborly. There's not really any legal consequence for that. You know, if there's leaves on the ground, someone's walking by and slips on them on a sidewalk, I don't see that as a case. If someone called me, that's something I would decline. I don't believe there's any legal responsibility to remove those. But maybe just be a good neighbor and get them off, especially if you know some of your neighbors walk a lot, because they're probably doing it for heart health or other reasons, you know, mental health, things like that. So.
Are we also seeing an issue? I'm not sure if you deal with this often, but insurance agencies all the time, you know, many people, they'll call you, they say they have insurance, they hit, you know, someone, but the bigger issue is they don't have the right coverage for whatever the situation may be. How does that work for you?
I get those calls all the time where they say, I've told my agent I want X coverage, and then we get into the system, they send us what's called the declarations page, and we look at it and it's nothing like what they thought they bought. And so what we do is you can have a claim against your agent. It's an E&O claim, and we have made those claims before. They're few and far between, so I don't want to make it like it's always going to happen, but it does happen where someone says I want X coverage, they don't do it, and you know, they have a claim for that. One of the things I look for example, would be if you have a $100,000 property damage coverage but a really small injury coverage. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because that's the really expensive coverage. The injury is not really expensive, and so why would someone sell you that just to get all that money and not really have you protected? That's a red flag. I do see that from time to time, but it's something we look at for everybody. We look at their coverages. I meet with people. We talk about family budget. What coverage makes sense for the family budget? And we do go over that with our clients.
Excellent. And for more information, JustinPetersonLaw.com. Thank you, Justin, for being here with us.
Yes, thank you.